In this video, we'll be evaluating different levels that could potentially serve as top targets for some of the top cryptocurrencies. I assume the importance of this video does not need to be emphasized, so let's get into it. So the main way we'll be doing this is by referencing the Alt Bitcoin chart. I spoke about how valuable this tool was back when the markets started pumping after Trump got in office, and now that the markets have ran quite a bit, you'll see exactly why that is the case. Starting off with the token that undoubtedly has the most mindshare right now, XRP. I have here the XRP Bitcoin chart from Binance, and let's just say if you're an XRP fan, you're going to find this interesting. Back in November with the USD, I was very confident that XRP would break its 2021 high. I felt that way because of this XRP Bitcoin chart, and I'm now saying in an updated version that I'm confident that XRP will break all-time highs. Those highs are at $3.31, and I do believe we go past that. If we look at the key resistance levels on the XRP Bitcoin chart, one of them we're at right now at 2,900 sats. And with Bitcoin at almost 100K, that would translate to a $2.90 XRP. Back at around 1,500 sats, I said we would test this level, which would mean again, $2.90 XRP with 100K Bitcoin. And that is where the idea of breaking the 2021 high came from. That said, this XRP Bitcoin chart is very strong and I don't think it's topped. So what are the next levels to look for? I believe there is one screaming zone right here between what is 3,800 and 4,200 sats. If we get to this zone with 100K Bitcoin, that would mean that one XRP is somewhere between $3.80 and $4.20. And as stated, that would mean a new all-time high for XRP. Now, honestly, those are probably the base case sort of levels for XRP this cycle, and is where I plan to take quite a bit of profit, but not everything. If we're able to get past that on the XRP Bitcoin chart, the next level I would look out for is around 6,000 sats. That would obviously mean a $6 XRP if Bitcoin is at 100K, and if Bitcoin is worth more at that time, it would mean a higher price for XRP. After that, what would be very bullish if XRP could get there would be this zone, between what is around 9 to 12,000 sats. Of course, translating to a $9 to $12 XRP if Bitcoin is at 100K. Note that I keep saying 100K Bitcoin because it's then easy to do the math, but if those higher levels are achieved, we would expect a higher price to Bitcoin, which would mean higher prices for the altcoin, in this case being XRP. In summary, I would say base case for XRP is around $4 to $5, bull case is 6 to 8, super bull case is like 8 to 12, and I don't even want to talk about prices beyond that. But perhaps the most important thing you can take out of this is if you're an XRP holder, perhaps you want to pay more attention to its Bitcoin chart than its USD chart, especially if XRP ends up clearing all-time highs against its USD. At that point, there's going to be nothing to reference up there. But versus Bitcoin, it will still have key resistance levels. Once that first milestone is achieved, I'll make an update video, so if you're an XRP holder, I would recommend subscribing. Or of course, if you're a holder of the next altcoins we're about to mention. Next up, we got Near Bitcoin, and this one obviously looks a lot uglier than that XRP Bitcoin chart looked. It's finding resistance on basically its floor, so let's see how this goes. I think the clear, standout, very obvious resistance is this zone here. That comes in at around 11,500 and 13,000 sats, which with 100K Bitcoin would translate to $11.50 to as much as 13 bucks. And in terms of the Bitcoin chart, that kind of is the base case. I think Near would need to have a lot going for it in order to cross that resistance. Now, does that mean that Near USD is bound to just 12 bucks? No, not at all. Remember, it depends on the price of Bitcoin at that moment, where if Bitcoin is 200K, then Near would be around 20 bucks. Yet again, showing perspective of why we want Bitcoin to continue going up in price. So that altcoin season, which we will have, could be even crazier. If we somehow manage to cross that level, then we have this between around 21,000 and 25,000 sats, meaning a $21 to $25 near if Bitcoin is 100K. Now, next up, we have Solana, and this one is kind of a hot take. It's very difficult to rely on things in crypto. In my opinion, absolutely everything is subject to change. But for the most part, one thing we sort of can hedge on is the fact that Bitcoin charts do not make new highs. In other words, the likelihood of Sol Bitcoin making a new high is pretty low in my opinion. The all-time high of Sol Bitcoin is around 46,000 Satoshis. And based on that fact, if Bitcoin is 100K, it's not all that likely for Sol to go over $460. That's why some of these YouTubers who give Sol targets of 800 to 1,000, as much as I loved Solana and still do, I knew it would require quite a bit of work to get that done. You would need a 200K Bitcoin and for Sol BTC to be near highs, which ETH last cycle didn't come close to either. Next up is Sui. And this one is interesting because unlike Solana, it has sort of the green light to go anywhere because it's in its first cycle. Sui has made all-time highs versus Bitcoin, and although unlike our previous examples, there's no levels up here that I can reference, one thing I can say is that being in price discovery versus Bitcoin in a bull market is quite the lucrative thing. To put it into perspective, Solana last cycle was kind of in the same position, and this is what ended up unfolding. How about a fan favorite, something like Cardano? Now, ADA versus Bitcoin definitely doesn't look weak. It is currently facing some pretty strong resistance. I do, however, expect it to break this and then go on to the next resistance, which would be this zone here between 1800 and 2100 sats, which with a 100K Bitcoin would mean $1.80 to $2.10 per ADA. And I definitely could see sort of that as a base case scenario for ADA topping this cycle. I guess sort of the main takeaway is that during the bull market, everyone is going to be looking at the normal altcoin USD chart. And sort of what I want to argue with this video is that as great as that chart is going to be, I believe that the altcoin Bitcoin chart for that specific alt is as important to reference and taking advantage by consistently referencing the two. I'm sure after watching this video and hearing what I had to say, your perspective on where these coins could go has changed. If you're interested in me covering any of your altcoins, then please comment them. The coins mentioned in this video were commented in the last one. And if you're new to crypto or experienced and looking to take your game to the next level, we have an exclusive group that's been live for about a week where I've been posting way more often than here on YouTube. There is also the potential to get one-on-one calls and way more alpha and setups for what should be a very exciting finish to this cycle. I've left a link to it in the description. If you're interested, check it out. The spots, however, are reserved, so make sure to sort of watch out for that. But until next time, good luck.